The man who did get in.
Yeah.
Right? The Mr. Irrelevant of the Chris Sims, top 40 quarterback. He's not irrelevant, and hey, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen this year with this team? Your number 40 quarterback in the year 2024 is?
Jarrett Stidham, Denver Broncos, right? Might be the starting quarterback. We'll see. I doubt it, because I think Bo Nix will be the starter, right? But Jarrett Stidham is, let me just say this. He has got a lot of starting quarterback physical traits. That would be the first thing I would say. He has one negative, and you know what it is? He just hasn't played enough. He hasn't had the chance to play. That's it. But when you watch the guy on film, right, whether you go to preseason or go to the end of the season when he played this year, and of course I remember what he looked like the year before that, because I'm a little bit biased towards Jarrett Stidham. I like him. I like his skill set, right? But it's good size. It's a way better athlete than people realize. It's very good feet in the pocket to move around and find spaces to throw the football, right? And then the arm is a starting caliber quarterback NFL arm, right? We're going to talk about some guys here coming up in a minute who I have in front of them and him where I go, their physical ability is not as good as his. He is better than them physically, but like I said, with him, it's more just, I got to play. It's consistency. It's a little bit, hey, he hasn't played and the ball's just a hair off target. You go like, oh, that's a good throw, but it's just a little like he had to stop here and there. And that's to me what the big thing is with him, but definitely starting caliber skills and traits in Jarrett Stidham, one of the best backups in football.
So we have 3 quarterbacks in this tier to start things off here, and this tier is called Backup Plus.
Yeah.
And you just said, though, the other 2 quarterbacks we're about to talk about, you would have more faith in Jarrett Stidham potentially reaching a higher ceiling.
That's the way to say it. Yeah, you're exactly right. I think he has a higher ceiling than the guys we're going to talk about in a minute without giving them away, and you'll hear it. But to me, he is a guy that if it just fell right and he could play and get in a situation, I think he would open up eyes. And, to that point too, right? Like context matters. Who were the last 2 coaches that brought him in? Josh McDaniel, Sean Payton. I mean, you can say what you want about them, but they kind of know quarterbacks. They've kind of been around some good ones, right? And there was a reason, like when Sean Payton got to Denver and the first thing he did was go, I'm going to get Jarrett Stidham because he's backup, I'm good, and he might be damn good enough to be my starter, right? Let alone, he can handle a lot of offense because guys like that wouldn't like him unless he can handle big verbiage plays, a lot of checks, and do all that stuff too. So, I'm a fan of Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
He is a better physical specimen than people realize.
He signed a 2-year contract for $10 million last offseason with the Denver Broncos. He was drafted by the Patriots, 4th round back in 2019, was a player at Auburn before that. So hasn't played that much, right, in his career. He has started 4 games in his career. 2 were at the end of last year after it all went sideways with Russ there. Got a win against the Chargers, touchdown, 200 and some yards, almost 300 yards in a loss against the Raiders.
The Raiders, right.
Touchdown and an interception there. So he had a little run at the end of the year. And so what you saw there, will he make life hard for Bo Nix to waltz right in and win that job?
He will. He will make life hard, right? We saw this guy 2 years ago, throw for 300 yards against the 49ers in a home game against the Raiders, right? It shows you what he's capable of. And yes, this is going to be one of the harder, hey, I'm a top first-round pick, I got to overcome this guy issues for any of these quarterbacks. There's no doubt. Because, again, it is a smart guy like we're talking about. He's got the New England, Josh McDaniels background. His second year here in the Sean Payton offense. He's going to know that, right? And he's got the physical ability to go along with it. So, this is one where, again, I expect Bo Nix to be the starting quarterback, but I think it is going to be a somewhat fair quarterback competition. But I think it is one where I still look at it and go, if it's close, Nix wins. If Jarrett Stidham closely wins the competition, Nix wins, right? It's going to have to be like Jarrett Stidham is killing it in training camp, and Nix is still finding his way, then he becomes a starter. But that's kind of how I look at it.
And Stidham's 28 years old, too. Has probably already, and you mentioned this, too, signing with Denver. He's never been promised as you're going to be the guy, right? So he's probably somewhat reconciled the fact that, hey, I could be a backup, and if I'm a backup, that's my role.
His backup, he's getting paid like a good backup.
Yeah.
And if he can just continue to do what he's doing, and the big thing is for a guy like him to stay attached to people like Sean Payton. So, you want to be a starter, but you don't know that might happen next year, right? I want to be a starter. I want to be a starter. I want to be a starter. Okay, well, maybe somebody gives you $11 million to start, right? but you don't know. And they might take a quarterback in the first round, so you don't know what happened. I would go, no, stay with Sean Payton for $7 million and be the backup, because if you get in, you're going to show everybody how awesome you are, and you're going to make that $4 million difference up when you're now a legit starter for somebody, where it's like, no, they've given you money now where they're not drafting a quarterback if you're not the Atlanta Falcons and anything like that, and we're going to like actually commit to you.
And this is not, as we mentioned before, it's not about how you produce in the given offense that you're in right now, but I think it is a good opportunity to look at the weapons that these quarterbacks have.
Yeah, let's do that.
And you look at Denver's too, and you have Cortland Sutton, you have Marvin Mims, who's got to make a little bit of a jump here, but then you got Josh Reynolds, who is very good for my Detroit Lions outside of the last game that he played for my Detroit Lions, and Javonte Williams, one of the more dynamic running backs, and so skill position-wise, you got a pretty good setup in Denver.
I don't know. They're not bad. I mean, like you said, Reynolds is a great all-around pro, can do it all, right? You know, Tim Patrick, we know he's been damn good. He's coming off injury, right?
Yeah.
But I think Cortland Sutton, 2 years out from his ACL now, I think will establish himself as an elite receiver. And the name you hit on, Mims, right? Mm-hmm. Mims has a chance to be, I think, a superstar, like a Terry McLaurin type of wide receiver. That's who we said he was coming out in the draft, and he showed some of that ability there this year. So, yeah, I'm interested to see, Denver, what they look like year two, Sean Payton, and I think, too, with Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham, I think the offense is going to be more expansive than it was with Russell Wilson, because that was one of the issues with Russell Wilson. I think that Sean Payton kind of felt handcuffed to a degree with what he could do and call on the field.
Yep. Jarrett Stidham was 32nd last year. Has fallen down to 40. No fault of his own, though. We got to see it a little bit more, but we still think that there's a good quarterback in there.
Well, yeah, there's a good quarterback in there. You fell down a little bit, and let's not just forget. I mean, we just had by all due accounts 5 guys in the top 12 that I think are the fucking man. Like, they're good. All right, so boom, that's like 5 guys right off the bat where I go, man, I think they're starters in the NFL. Like, we talked so much about these guys in the draft, they're ready to play. They know how to play quarterback.
Yeah.
So that hurt guys like Jarrett Stidham in this list.
It's going to push everyone down.
It's going to push everybody down,
mid-20s
especially in these ranges. Yeah, right.
All right, so 40, Jarrett Stidham, Denver Broncos.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching, homies. You know it's the off-season, but there's no off-season with Chris Sims Unbuttoned. It's the NFL. It goes all year around, all right? So hit subscribe, please, to hear my thoughts on your favorite team, your favorite quarterback, and, hey, how this season might unfold as we get ready for the 2024 season. We got a better picture, clearer look now that the draft is over, free agency. We know who's playing quarterback for certain teams. So, again, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. Check you out soon.